Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be talking to you about APIs. What are they and how do you use them? API stands for Application Programming Interface. Let's break that down. Application, something that can be distinctively separated from its environment, something that funnels the requests. Programming, the engineering that translates input into output, verifies request and denies or grants permission. Interface, the part that interacts with the user or software. The source of the input communicates the result. Why should I use an API? The top reason is to save you a lot of work. APIs provide basic building blocks so that you don't need to reinvent the wheel. APIs act like a universal plug. They can communicate in multiple languages. They allow you to build third-party applications for companies while tying into their data. You can integrate data from your own programs into programs from other companies and vice versa, saving time on both ends. You can outsource certain programming needs through APIs. For example, travel websites use APIs to pull data from the different airlines. How do you use an API? First off, most APIs require an API key. You will need to find out what is required for access, usually some sort of an identity verification. You can start with an HTTP client that provide tools to help you structure your requests to access existing APIs. Examples include REST client, Postman, and PAW. Another way to start using an API is by building a URL from existing API documentation. Check out www.programmableweb.com for a directory of thousands of APIs available, some free, some paid. Start with the provided code from one of the resources above and modify it to suit your needs. Okay, so now let's look at an example. I am going to show you how to use Google Maps platform documentation to put an API into your code. So Google Maps is not, their API is not free anymore, but they do have a developer access that allows you to do some tests with it, and so that is what I'm taking advantage of. So I came to this website, and then I decided to click on Maps JavaScript API. From here, I knew I needed to get an API key, so I then clicked on that. And then I just read through this, and it says go to the Google Cloud Platform Console, and then to create a project or select a project, and then go to the credentials, create your credentials, and we'll go from there. So let's go to the Google Cloud Platform Console. Right here is the project drop-down. I'm going to click on that. I've already got a project created, but you can click here to create a new project. But I'm not going to do that since I already have it. So, and then the next step was to go over here and click on APIs and services and credentials. So I created an API key earlier, but I'm going to show you how to create another one. So click on Create Credentials and select API key, and then it creates it. It does mention that you should restrict your key, so you can click on this right here and restrict key. Hit save. Okay, so now I have two keys. I really only need the one, so I'm going to just delete the one just so it doesn't get confusing. So this is my key right here. You can click this right here to copy it. And then from here, I went back to the Get an API Key page, and I went under the tutorials and selected geolocation. So this page opens. Up here, it wants to know your location because the whole purpose of it is to find where you are. And so I'm going to click Allow, and then it's going to show that, sure enough, I'm in Utah. So this page will tell you how to add this map to your page with the geolocation service. And so they've got the code all here, and which is really handy because you can just copy and paste it. But this code actually has the CSS and the JavaScript all built into the HTML there. It's also handy. You can click this and then just add your key right there. It'll change that. But I don't want to use this code because I want to have my CSS and JavaScript separate. So I'm going to click on this to open the JS Fiddle. And now it's going to show me the HTML in its own section, the JavaScript in its own section, and the CSS in its own section. And so then you can just take this code and you can just copy it. And then I've already created my files, but then you can just paste it into your own HTML file. So that's what all of this is right here, was what we just copied from there. The one thing to note about this is the key that's in here is not the key I just created. So I had to make sure to change that to the key that I was given. And so then you can repeat with the CSS, copy it, and paste it in here. I set up a page so that I would have some styling on a page before adding the map, and so I just added it to the bottom of mine. And then go back and copy and paste all the JavaScript. There we go. So from here, you can then make any modifications as you need. I, wanted to not have it just the map on the page, so I, made sure I added some header stuff and footer, and of course I already said that I had a bunch of extra styling. And then we'll go here, everything's saved, and I will open with Live Server. And so it's giving me this error message since it's not probably because it's the open with Live Server. But yeah, so it just shows that it's for development purposes only. And then it's asking to know my location. So I'm going to click Allow. And then the map changes to where I am in Utah. And so that was a lot easier than I expected because you're not having to rewrite everything. That doesn't mean you can't tweak some of the code, put in, if you want to modify the styling even more. I changed the styling from what I copied and pasted just to make the map a bit smaller because it was taking up the entire screen and it felt overwhelming. So I just made it a bit smaller, although I probably could have gone even more smaller than what I did. And then you might have some different functionality that you want to add to it. And so this is, a template that you can use. And then you can make whatever changes that you need. Maybe you want the map to zoom in more to start. And so you could, change probably how far out it starts zoomed or it zooms in when it finds your location. And so there's lots of benefits to APIs, and this is just a brief overview, and I hope it helps you understand the purpose of APIs and how to add them to your website. And that's it. Thanks for watching.